In the beginning of the story, we are told that a virus named Rage has spread throughout the city, turning people into zombies, causing them to attack and kill each other. Then, we see a small house where 6 people had survived the zombie virus. Among them was a man named Doe, his wife Alice, an elderly couple, and 2 men. Alice was in the kitchen, cooking something for the group, while Doe was deeply worried about the situation because he had sent his children on a school trip to France. The virus had actually spread in this city in Britain, which is why Doe's children were safe from the virus. Everyone was sitting around the dining table in complete darkness. They neither spoke to each other nor made any noise. Suddenly, someone started banging loudly on the door, pleading, "Please let me in. Open the door. Save me." The voice belonged to a 10-year-old child. Hearing the child's voice, they debated whether or not to open the door. They decided to let the child in. When they opened the door, they realized it was actually daytime outside. They had kept their home in complete darkness so that no zombies could spot them. They brought the child inside and offered him some food. After asking him some questions, the child, he says that his mom and grandpa had turned into zombies and were chasing him, trying to eat him. Doe asks how many people there were, and the boy replies, "A lot." Among the others in the group, there was a girl who was very scared. She started peeking through the window and could hear many zombies approaching from afar. Suddenly, a zombie jumped in through the window and attacked the girl. A swarm of zombies started coming in, trying to break into the house. They tried to protect the boy and rushed upstairs with Doe following them. He kept telling Alice to leave the boy behind and that they needed to escape, but Alice ignored him. Meanwhile, the elderly couple had hidden in another house but couldn't escape the zombies either. Zombies soon started entering the room where Alice was with the boy. In the other room, Doe called out to Alice, shouting, "Look over here. Come to me," but there were so many zombies in between that she couldn't make it to him. Seeing this, Doe slammed his door shut. Alice kept screaming, "Where are you, Doe? Help me," but Doe shut the side door and escaped through another door, running outside. A huge group of zombies chased him, hungry and desperate to catch him. We see her voice crying out for help. The way out had now been sealed. Doe, filled with shame, ran while crying, knowing he had left his wife Alice behind and didn't help her. As he ran ahead, he reached a pond where he encountered the same boy who had stayed with them in the house. The boy was yelling at a boat, but, in his panic, fell into the water. The girl had also been caught by zombies and was brutally torn apart. Doe was the only one left, sitting in the boat, drifting away. Then the story jumps ahead to 1 month later, showing that the zombies, due to starvation, were gradually dying off. The military forces had now taken over the city, trying to control the entire situation. We are shown a search and destroy unit, part of a sniper team, tasked with shooting any zombies they spotted. Doe had been rescued by the army as well. 6 months passed, and by then, the number of zombies had drastically reduced, appearing only in isolated places. We are also introduced to a doctor who was studying the virus. The army had started a program to bring back people who had fled to other cities, returning them to their homes. However, everyone still had to remain in safe zones under the army's watch, particularly in America. So far, there were only a handful of survivors around Doe. The children, including Doe's kids, had returned to their city in Britain. When the doctor sees the children coming back, she grows concerned, wondering how they would manage in such conditions. The doctor then runs some tests on Doe's son, noticing that his eyes were of 2 different colors. One half of each eye was a different color from the other. The doctor asks him, "Does anyone else in your family have eyes like this?" Doe's son replies, "Yes, my mom Alice's eyes were like this." When Doe reunited with his kids, he was overjoyed. He was still working alongside the army, living in the safe zone, so he brought his children to the place where he was staying. He also told them about the tragic incident with their mom, Alice. That night, while sleeping, Doe's son had dreams about his mom. It felt like he was about to uncover her face. The next morning, while Doe left for work, his children sneaked out of the safe zone. They ran all the way to their old home, hoping to find a picture of their mom. Meanwhile, the army had discovered that the 2 children had escaped the safe zone. But by the time the army learned of it, both kids had already reached their house. There, Doe's son saw something on the roof of their home. He started hearing some sounds from the roof. When they went up to check, they saw their mother Alice, the one Doe had left behind among the zombies. The children ran to hug their mom, but soon one of them felt a sharp pain. When the 2 brothers stepped outside their house, they saw soldiers from the army who had come to take them back to the safe zone. The 3 were brought to the current lab facility, where Alice was restrained and tested. The doctor ran tests on her blood, trying to figure out if she had been infected by the zombie virus. Soon, they discovered that while Alice was indeed infected, her immunity was so strong that the zombie virus hadn't affected her. That's why she hadn't turned into a zombie yet. However, the virus was still present in her body, which meant that she could infect others if they got too close. Anyone in contact with her could turn into a zombie. Hearing all this, the army general decided that Alice was too dangerous to be kept alive, as she posed a threat to everyone around her. To prevent anyone from becoming infected, the general planned to eliminate her. But the doctor argued, telling the general, "Her immunity is special. We could create a vaccine from her blood." When Doe found out about all this, that his wife Alice was still alive, Doe rushed to his children, but they were angry at him. One of them cried out, "Mom is gone. She's turned into a zombie. So how is she still alive?" Doe was shaken by their words, haunted by the truth that he had abandoned Alice among the zombies. Desperate, he went to her, apologizing and begging for forgiveness. But as he got closer, he suddenly screamed in agony and transformed into a zombie right in front of them. Seeing Doe's horrifying transformation, Alice screamed for help, but it was too late. Doe attacked her viciously, killing her in a terrifying manner. Afterward, he went on to attack the army soldiers. The doctor, now in a panic, took Doe's children and fled towards the safe zone. However, Doe, now fully a zombie, followed them and started banging on the gates of the safe zone, trying to break through. Doe's son, seeing this, ran away and hid in a small vent. Below him, he could hear the screams of people being attacked and turned into zombies. Chaos had spread everywhere. People were turning into zombies and attacking others. Everyone was desperately trying to escape with their lives. The army, now alerted, struggled to understand who was infected and who wasn't. Amid the confusion, an order was given: kill everyone. Upon hearing this, Sniper Dial, who we saw at the beginning of the story, felt conflicted. His duty was to save people, not kill them. He saw a zombie approaching Doe's son, and he shot the zombie dead, but he didn't harm Doe's son. Feeling disillusioned with his mission, Dial decided to abandon his duty. He followed Doe's son, who was taken into a dark room by another man. Inside, they found Doe's sister and the doctor, along with several other people. An elderly woman, seeing the chaos outside, was deeply disturbed. She asked, "Why are they killing everyone?" At that moment, Dial spoke up and urged everyone to leave, warning that staying there was no longer safe. As they attempted to escape, the army opened fire on them, and the elderly woman was killed. Dial, along with the doctor and Doe's children, kept moving. Suddenly, Dial received a call from his friend, who was in the army and had access to a helicopter. His friend said, "Listen, we've just been ordered to bomb the entire city. I'm sending you the location of where to meet me. Get there, and I'll save you." They quickly made their way through a tunnel, trying to escape. Just as they were nearing the end, a massive explosion rocked the area the army had started bombing. All the zombies and infected humans in the zone were blown away in the explosion. Dial, the doctor, and the children ran for safety. They finally reached the location Dial's friend had mentioned. Soon, his friend arrived with the helicopter. He informed Dial, "Some infected zombies are trailing behind you." Hearing this, Dial quickly told the doctor and the children to hide. His friend then said, "Look, I've been instructed to save only you. If I bring any infected civilians back, the army will kill me too." But Dial refused to leave on his own. He wanted to help everyone. So he sent his friend away and stayed behind. The zombies were now fast approaching, racing towards the city. The army had released poisonous gas to contain them, making it impossible for humans to breathe. Dial, the doctor, and the children hid inside a car to protect themselves. The zombies began attacking the car, but because of the gas, the zombies died right there. Meanwhile, the army forces were closing in to wipe everyone out. The car wouldn't start, so Dial stepped out to fix it. He began to push, but he was now in the army's line of sight. Mistaking him for an infected, the army shot him down. The doctor managed to escape with the children, driving towards safety. Meanwhile, Doe's son and daughter got separated. Doe had attacked his own son, but his son had the same resilience, so he didn't turn into a zombie. Doe's daughter, in a moment of desperation, attacked her own grandfather and cried out loudly. The siblings found themselves in a stadium when Dial's friend, who had the helicopter, arrived. Seeing the children, he hesitated, wondering whether to save them, fearing they might be infected. Ultimately, he decided to take them and flew them out of Britain. We then see a panoramic view of the city, and 28 days later, we learn that the infected zombies had made their way to Paris through a tunnel. The fate of Doe's son and daughter remains a mystery. And with that, the story of this film comes to an end.